That was my impression of a little Spanish girl. Why? Oh, so glad you asked. Because today we have a very special and very culturally aware episode just for you. Now, I've already told you I eat any kind of cereal you may throw my way. It doesn't matter if it's for little kids, grown-ups, if it's based on a movie, kids book, kids shows. I don't care if it's for boys or girls. I don't care. I eat anything. I am not partial and I'm unbiased. Sometimes. For the most part. Which brings me to today's culturally aware and parentally acceptable episode. Let's jump right into it. For those of you who live on Mars in a cave under a rock, allow me to introduce Dora the Explorer to you. I will explain why in a moment.
Hola, Tico.
Dora the Explorer is an animated TV show from Nickelodeon Nick Jr. that is about a small, traditional Spanish-speaking girl who goes on tons of adventures with her family, friends, and other random characters. It teaches kids some Spanish and some good lessons. She and other characters constantly break the fourth wall by asking the audience, specifically little kids, to partake in their adventure and shout at their TV sets, giving the characters some direction as to what to do next. It's a very interesting idea used by many children's shows through the years as a way to engage their audiences and teach them stuff like problem solving. Kinda like Sesame Street. There's always a point, and of course a sense of tension that comes from the antagonist shadow archetype found in Swiper the Fox, who's always have to slow Dora and her pals down by his attempts at stealing stuff they need for their journeys. The show also had some pretty cool guest voices from the likes of John Leguizamo, Cheech Marin, and La Bamba's S.A. Morales, all Spanish-speaking Hollywood actors. The show has been on since 2000 and was aired as part of Nick Jr.'s cartoon block on CBS Saturday mornings until around 2006. Tons of toys, video games, books, and other random paraphernalia have been around, cashing in on the Dora empire. It's not a bad kiddie show. It's very well received by critics and parents alike. But, boy, I hate when sentences start like that. There is just one part of this Dora kingdom that makes me wonder what critics think of. What did I just say? I think what I meant to say was it makes me wonder how critics feel about this one specific spot. What is that specific spot? Oh, so glad you asked. We as critics may praise Dora for her educational values, but, like I said, there is one thing about her little empire that makes me wonder. What do we think as critics of her cereal? Yes, there is a Dora the Explorer cereal. So here it is in all its ginormous glory. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This thing weighs a ton. This is 1 pound and 2 ounces of cereal, as I spit all over the place when I say pound. But yeah, it claims to be 18 ounces. No wonder why it was over $4. Seriously though, it's really heavy. There's like rocks in this box. I totally rhymed. This cereal was first introduced around 2006 by General Mills and is still sold today in many markets. Not an easy one to find depending on where you are. So yeah, at first you will notice this huge picture of Dora followed by this huge graphic underneath where it says more whole grain than any other ingredient. It's gonna be one of those cereals. Parents groups and critics alike have been slamming cereal companies for years about their high sugary content in breakfast cereals for kids, which makes me sad. So instead of being full of sweet sugary goodness, cereals like this boast lightly sweetened. Now I'm telling you, with the exception of Cheerios and other cereals that are supposed to be healthy, lightly sweetened cereals would never sell back in the day. It just wouldn't. That's not the way it was. Things were different back then. Sugar was amazing. Sticks of butter in everything was amazing. I mean, it was just unheard of. I mean, the word sugar was like in every title of every cereal. Sugar Smacks, Sugar Pops, Sugar Jets, Sugar Crisp. Now, of course, a lot of these cereals that are still around today use words like corn and honey in place of the word sugar, which is lame. Just come right out and tell us how delicious you really are. Don't hide it any longer. Just be honest with yourselves and that you are full of sugar. Don't be sellouts like Kentucky Fried Chicken. KFC? It's still Kentucky Fried Chicken. So with Dora, this non-sugary, lightly sweetened cereal, it's said to be something that I may actually enjoy. It's not vanilla. It's a cinnamon and sugar mix, which I love thanks to cereals like Cinnamon Toast Crunch and Churros. Yes, for those of you who do not know, Churros is now a breakfast cereal. So let's quickly take a closer look. Okay, so the first thing you notice is a nice aroma of cinnamon sugary goodness coming out of the box. That's a really good sign. Is the leche ever in a spot where I can find it? I used the Spanish word. Culturally amazing. Now the cereals. Oh my word. Just stars, stars, and more stars. It's a barrage of stars. There must be like 200 in this small bowl of cereal. And wow, are they small. I mean, look at this. You can't see it, but man, are they tiny. Wow. 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 If you compare it to the ones on the box, they're like twice the size. I will sue for false advertisement. You thought you needed a telescope to see the stars in the night sky? You needed to see these cereal pieces. They're so tiny. I can't explain it. You have to experience it for yourself. Let's see. No marshmallows, no colors, except for like this caramel type of color. Not very pretty to look at. Not that little kids really care anyways. Kind of reminds me of those those Gerber things that they put all over their little snack trays on their high chairs and they just throw them all over the place and you find them for weeks all over the house. But seriously, what's with the shapes? Stars? I mean, stars are okay and I can see what they were going for. They got like these big blue stars on the box and these stars that are like big characters in the show. I could see that. But I mean, Dora has been out for so long. You mean to tell me that there are no other characters they can use? Or animals? Stars are fine, but stars and something else like animals, stars and animals. Animals are not that scary to eat. Shirley Temple used to eat them all the time, especially in her soup.
Animal crackers in my soup, monkeys and rabbits loop the loop.
So how does it taste? Let's find out. It's not awful. It's a bit bland. If you're like me and you wrongly judge cereals, comparing them and basing them off of other sweeter cereals, then you're just a jerk. No, seriously, you can't compare cereals like this and Cinnamon Toast Crunch. They are two completely very different cereals. One is supposed to be totally sweet, and this one just comes right out and says, I'm lightly sweetened. I'm not all that sweet. So this cereal is definitely not Cinnamon Toast Crunch. I love you, Wendell. It doesn't get that soggy that quick. It takes like a minute or so. But by that time, who wants to eat it anyway? The milk is already warm. It's kind of like sweaty cheese on your class trip when your teacher takes your ham and cheese lunch and puts it in that compartment in the bus that's like 100 degrees. That is so gross. Hated that. So what else can we say about Dora the Explorer from General Mills? Well, it's very healthy-ish with its ingredients of whole grain corn and cornmeal. Little kids love this stuff. It's small, it's fun to eat and play with, and hey, it's Dora. So yeah, it's not really that sweet, so people like me that it's not geared to will be a little disappointed. So the shapes of this cereal are kind of boring, very uninteresting, not super fun to look at, colorless, just not fun. Unlike the box that has this super fun game on the back. Alcanza las estrellas. Oh, and it also has the Lorax on the back of the box. I'm kidding, it's grumpy old troll. And apparently him and Swiper are at their old tricks again. Tricks. Now there's a cereal that's changed, but we're not gonna get into that right now, and don't worry, the Trix Rabbit is not safe from this show. So this taste is overall pretty bland, not too sweet, and there's the hint of cinnamon, which is not overpowering and is okay in this situation considering that there's not too much sugar to kind of like contrast with the sharpness of cinnamon. So yeah, with these few cons, I'm afraid I'm gonna have to give it 2.5 out of 5 Olas. Seems to be a pattern in all these new healthy cereals that are coming out. It's such a shame about all this anti-sweet and anti-sugary cereal rhetoric. Oh man, that was a great use of that word. I don't know when I'll be able to use that again on this show. And you know that the same parents that are complaining about sugary cereals are the same ones that are giving their kids fast food later on that day for lunch. No sugary cereals. Make sure you eat your puffins, and then for lunch, we'll go get a big kid's meal with a double cheeseburger. But I swap out the apples for the fries. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got for you today. Big people may not like this, but the intended audience is going to love it. Just ask Michael J. Fox.
I guess you guys aren't ready for that yet. But your kids are gonna love it.
See? So yeah, if you got any questions or comments or anything like that, or if you want to engage in a conversation between sugar fiends and parent groups and watch them sling mud at each other, down with sugar, down with your face, play nice children, please be sure to use the comment box below. And of course, if you have a YouTube or Google account, make sure you use it to subscribe and like this video. And as always, make sure you pass this video along to your friendskies, because you never know when they may ask you, hey, what do you think of Dora the Explorer cereal? And then you can be like, it sucks stars. Real little tiny ones. I swear those things are so small. So yeah, I'm DP and I want to thank you for spending these random moments with me, and make sure you stay tuned for more stuff coming up. Keep on watching and I'll see you real soon. Hola! I mean, adios. Get out.
Animal crackers in my soup, monkeys and rabbits loop